We are all connected as well, and that takes us to our next presenter, Coptic minister Bonnie Cripe, a holistic psychotherapist, regression therapist, Coptic minister, and Reiki master. Her focus is on empowering individuals to become aware of their strengths within themselves. She has studied regression therapy and past life therapy throughout the United States and in Europe. Bonnie has conducted a number of workshops throughout the U.S. and internationally on a variety of topics, including presenting at the World Congress of Regression Therapists in Izmir, Turkey. Please welcome Coptic minister Bonnie Cripe as she presents We Are All Connected.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here today. I have a question for all of you. How many of you think that we are all connected? Good. Then my talk today is just to validate what you already know. I gotta figure out how to use the little pull thing. So, everything in life is connections are everything. Not only are connections everything, they are the only thing, which I hope to show you today. We've been talking about being connected. John's talked about being connected to the world, all world religions. I want to show you through a series today how we truly are connected much more than most of us even begin to realize. Albert Einstein said, everything in life is vibration. The universal law of nature states that everything has its own vibration. I think of it as each vibration as having a frequency. How many of you have read Power versus Force in here? Are you familiar with the book? It's quite a powerful book, and if you haven't read it, I encourage you to read it. He talks about levels of consciousness, and vibration has different frequencies. And when we think of frequencies, shame is a very dense, very low frequency vibration energy. And if you look at what we've been talking about, what John talked about, peace on earth, we look at what's happening. There's great change happening in our world right now. And a lot of it has to do with vibrational energy, with where people are at. If you look at where shame is at a 20. That's a very low, dense frequency. The lower and denser the frequency, the harder it is to move through it. What David Hawkins calls the force. It's much harder to move through those lower energies. Guilt. How many people do you know that maybe get caught in guilt and shame, and it just seems like they can never get out of it? Apathy. Apathy isn't like the ascended masters where you're neutral and you don't care, you don't try to do anything, you just bring that negative energy. Grief. Fear. I look at this world, how much fear is there in this world right now? The wars, all of these things. When you pray for peace, do not pray from a place of fear. Because fear, whatever we focus on, is what we bring into the world. So if you focus on praying out of fear, oh, I pray for peace because you're afraid the world's going to be destroyed, you're putting more fear into the world, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And as we move up the scale, you get to courage. And it's only recently that the vibrational energy of the planet has come up to 207. We've just come to courage, and part of that reason is for all of you. All of you and other people on the planet bringing joy, bringing love, bringing the consciousness of peace into this world. That is what's going to help raise the vibration of our planet. The ascended masters are at the enlightenment stage. There's a lot of masters on this planet holding the energy of this planet. And their vibration is so high that they can barely stay in the energy of this planet. You remember Neil Diamond Walsh in his book, The Celestine Prophecy, and at a point when he could raise his vibration to the point where no one could see him anymore on this planet. He was still here, he was just at such a high vibrational energy that people couldn't see him anymore. So when you think about our spirit guides, our angels and all that, they're at a different level of vibration, but we're all here together. And so I thought, that's just something to think about. As many of you know, I'm doing the wrong way. I do past life therapy and have for many, many years. And there are many beliefs about reincarnation, that people have lessons to learn. We have karma. If you look at physics, we have the law of cause and effect, so that kind of fits right in. Some of us believe that after we die, we go to different planets. Maybe we have ET experiences. Maybe we come back as plants or animals. A lot of people believe it's that we don't go into our own past life, that we're tapping into the cosmic energy. Some believe it doesn't exist, and some believe it's metaphor or imagination. And you know what? They're all right. So I want to talk for a moment about karma. Karma is not something that, and again, my talk is from my perspective. It's not the perspective of the world, but it's my perspective. And I believe that karma does not come from a Zeus-like God that tells us you had a bad thought yesterday, paying for that one. You stole that gumball when you were 7. 3 years in purgatory for that one, right? You did this, you did that, and therefore you're going to be punished. Our consciousness holds karma. It comes from within us. There isn't good and evil, light and dark. It's all a counterbalancing. We go one way, we come back the other. It's just a balancing. We put good, evil, bad, good, but what we call dark, what we call evil, is all part of God consciousness. There isn't anything that is not God consciousness. And so what we think is good or evil, they're both God consciousness. Marianne Williamson talks about, in a moment of grace, all karma is burned. And what that means to me is that in the moment, I get it. If I'm going through this counterbalancing, some people, to use the old, I kill you, so you're going to come back, and you're going to kill me in this lifetime, and then I'm going to kill you in the next lifetime, on and on and on and on. At what point do you break that cycle? At what point do you get it? At what point do I no longer want to kill you? At what point do I forgive myself? And then there's no need for the counterbalancing anymore because we've come into balance. I want to talk a little bit about the Oversoul and Soul groups. Our soul group is within our Oversoul. There's the Oversoul and soul groups are within the Oversoul. And it's part of all that is Creator consciousness. We're all one family. There is no separation. The Oversoul is a family within a family. So you think about, you have mom and dad, and then you have kids, and the kids go off and they have another family, and you have another family, and another family. So you can be the family within a family. The Oversoul contains all the fragmentations of the various physical lives that we understand ourselves to be. All the information is contained within the group. So you think about your DNA. Our DNA, the scientists have not discovered everything that's in our DNA. Your DNA holds every memory, every lifetime, every consciousness that you've ever been through within. And we don't even know how to decode all of it. Won't it be interesting when they do? The Oversoul can continue to fragment itself into aspects and counterparts or parallel lifetimes, each containing a certain percentage of the whole. So think about you cut up an apple, okay? And you slice up the apple. Each apple is still the apple, right? But each one, you can have them be in different places. One of the things, if you've ever read the book One by Richard Bach, he talks about a couple that sees themselves in parallel universes, going through all the decisions that you've made. If you made the decision to come here today, you made the decision not to come, to go to school, to not to go to school, to marry someone or not, to live in a certain place. All of those are playing out. In quantum physics, I've been studying a lot about quantum physics, and I find it fascinating. I need Sheldon Cooper from the Big Bang Theory to come and explain it to you, because there's no way I could do it. But it's a very interesting, it's like I can get the concepts, but I can't exactly explain them. But parallel lives makes perfect sense to me. And they're proving all of these things that a lot of us have believed for many, many years in quantum physics about parallel lives, about other things happening. So I just think it's very interesting. I want to talk a little bit about your soul group. In the soul group, there's generally 12 in a group, but it can be as few as 3 people in a soul group. The spokes represent the various aspects and counterparts, experience life in different forms, in different densities and dimensions. So your soul group doesn't necessarily all have to be on planet Earth at the same time. Part of your soul group can be your spirit guides. Your spirit guides are part of your soul group. So we can be at different densities. Your soul group isn't just necessarily right here today in this room. Okay? So each aspect and each counterpart is a unique individual personality and still contains the portion of the whole. Again, slices of the apple. They still have the qualities of the apple, but they each have their own little slice of the world, their own little shape. And each has its own way of experiencing and creating. So each member of the soul group is going to create things in a little bit different way. We're each going to make our own decisions. We're each going to have thoughts and go through the experiences in a little bit different way. But we're going to share with everybody in the soul group. Everything gets shared in the soul group. So the Oversoul has its own focus, talents, and lessons that it wishes to learn and experience. So we go through life with soul themes. And you think about lessons. We think about coming to this planet and we have lessons to learn. Okay? So maybe you're in this soul group and maybe the lesson is to learn compassion. Or maybe the lesson is to learn not to be prejudiced. Or it's to learn courage. And so everyone in your soul group is going to be learning the same lesson with you, and they're there to help you grow. We're all there, we're all in this together, as they say. And so the soul group is one unit. And so every experience that every part of the soul group has is downloaded and put into the soul group. So you think like your computer. Everything's put into the computer memory. Every part is put into the whole. And it's all with the same intent, and that's to grow spiritually. It's all there to help each other. As an individual, and I do past life therapy with people, that individual might be remembering their own past life. But they could also tap in to a lifetime of someone in the soul group, because that's a lifetime they need to look at. That's the experience they need to have for their own soul group. Since everything is energy consciousness, we share all of our lives with everything and everyone. Since energy cannot die, anything can be accessed. So I want to talk a little bit about the Akashic Records. A lot of you are very familiar with the Akashic Records, I'm sure. But for anybody that's not, the Akashic Record is an energetic recording of every soul's journey on this earth. It's all there. It's a permanent record of life, the permanent records that are kept of every act, every deed, all of history, all thoughts, all medicine and technology, of all advances. Everything that's ever happened is stored in the Akashic Records. And they are kept in your own consciousness. It's not out there, up in the sky somewhere. It's right in here. It's within. If you look within, you will see all that exists, all that has existed, and all that will exist. Past, present, and future lives are all recorded in the Akashic Records. And it's really interesting when you do past life work, future life work, looking at this lifetime, how many people that I've worked with through the years that I've noticed their soul themes, that we go past life into past life into past life, and they're learning the same lesson over and over and over, until finally something happens that the lesson is learned and they move on. But you can see the patterns over and over and over, lifetime after lifetime. It's quite interesting. The soul and the oversoul represent our cumulative life experiences. At the end of the human lifetime here on earth, the memory of our experiences are integrated into our soul and oversoul. Now, every oversoul is connected to another oversoul. Some connect to create a larger oversoul. So you start out your soul group, and then you connect to another soul group. And this is about learning lessons. You can also change soul groups. If you've come to learn a certain lesson and you want to learn something else, sometimes people do change soul group, or you integrate into a bigger soul group. And oversouls will merge with other oversouls, ever expanding back into oneness. So we all talk about one of the things that we're here for is to learn and to grow and get to the point that we go back to creator energy. And, we're here having this life experience, spiritual beings having a human experience, as they say. And so one of the ways that we do this is to learn our lessons, and everybody in your soul group is there to help you. We're all in this together. And so, how do you meet? Well, we connect through dreams. Sometimes we dream about someone, astral travel, meditation, the internet, Facebook. and sometimes we just meet in person. I was at a conference in Colorado Springs, and I met my friend Alina. She's from Russia, she's from Moscow, and I knew that we were part of the same soul group because when we met, another friend of mine was laughing because we sat there and talked for 3 days and we weren't even aware that anybody else was there. That's kind of a sign that it's someone from your soul group and that you just feel that connection with them and you just want to talk with them. There's something that draws you together. Sometimes it's not always positive, sometimes it is, but you tend to want to talk. That instant recognition that you have of a person, you know you've been there before. And places, I'm sure all of you have had that deja vu experience where you've been to a place or you've met a person and you feel like you know them, that you've been there before. So when we meet, it triggers cellular memories. There's something that we draw to. There's this unmistakable attraction. It's this affinity, this remembrance. It can be exciting, it can be depressing, irritating, puzzling, draining or depleting. But always, 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 everyone in your soul group is there to help you grow spiritually. That is the purpose of being in your soul group, is to help each other. And sometimes it's that thorn in your side that most helps you grow. Trust me, when I needed to learn boundaries, I had a friend who just kept running over my boundaries, and I kept letting her until finally I went, oh, that's the lesson. You know what? Not an issue anymore. Once you get the lesson, I felt like, oh, I'm a little slow here, but hey, finally got it. And you can connect for a short period of time. Alina and I saw each other at several conferences. We were emailing, and then all of a sudden she disappeared from all of us. And that's a long story, but we had this intense relationship, and some soulmates, soul part of your soul group, you're with for a lifetime. Might be your mate, might be a child, might be a good friend. But some are there for a few years, a few months. It just depends. Am I doing this right? Okay, I'm gonna, soulmates and twin souls. Twin souls are part of you, and you only have one twin soul, but you have many soulmates. And again, soulmates are there for your spiritual growth. I want to talk about the law of divine oneness. All aspects of God, we are all aspects of God. Think about the sands on the beach, think about the water, think about the air. They're all part of one. All part of the same being. We appear separate, like our hand is separate from our foot. But the reality, our hand isn't like Thing on the Munsters that walks around separate from us. It's all part of us. We are all vibrational energy. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything in the universe, from the largest star to the smallest grain of sand, is in a constant state of vibration. Your brain has taken in all the vibrations around you and translated into reality. So this podium appears solid. This room appears solid, but the reality, it's not. But my brain sees it as solid, so I'm not going to challenge that for you today. But the reality is, nothing is solid. It's an illusion. Even the colors that you see are a particular vibrational energy. It's a particular frequency. There is nothing more than vibrations that your brain has translated in order to make sense of it. Our thought forms are things. If you take pictures of energy, your aura, you can see thought forms in your aura. You can see, and it changes as you change. Your entire reality is within your head. There is nothing out there, even though it may seem like it. Logically accepting the truth, of course, is much different than actually believing the truth and applying it in your life. If you look at people who have had near-death experiences, they come back and they talk about the pure consciousness of love, the other side being connected. They feel the connection. They know we are one with everything. They feel profound peace and love. If we look at the wisdom of the ages, I think of the kingdom of heaven is truly within you. What you do unto others, you do unto yourself. We are all one. We are one vibration. We are all God consciousness. So when you pray for peace on earth, pray for the Taliban, pray for ISIS, send them love. Don't pray in fear, because you bring fear energy into the world. And remember, whatever you put out is affected by the whole universe. The stronger you become, the higher your vibration, the gentler you become. This moment is truly all there is. We are all connected. We are truly all one. And as Eckhart Tolle said, you are the universe expressing itself as human for a while.